Yo, 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 what's up? Let's go. Happy Sunday, y'all. First live show, PTE, coming at you live in your own living rooms.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is exciting. This is a big step for us.
Yeah, it is. We went a little earlier than we were supposed to today. We figured, when in Rome, baby. There's some stuff going on. We figured there was some stuff going on in the news. We would jump out there while it's still hot.
I mean, we were supposed to go on at like 9 o'clock tonight, and then all of this stuff. Ronan's calling me, and he's like, "Yo, Hormuz, Hormuz, Hormuz," and ships getting hit. And they took the one Iranian tanker and boarded it. I called you. I was like, "Man, what if there's a microwave bomb on there?"
Well, it's funny. It's like, we talk about stuff that we're going to go over on the shows. We do it every week. And then, it's like by the time you do all your research, fucking the day comes over and it's like it's irrelevant now because there's 15 different things. All of a sudden, Trump's Jesus and we're blowing up ships and we're boarding ships and Mamdani's doing, little storytelling with Barack Obama. And it's like,
What about the Strait?
I'm just saying there's all kinds of craziness that happens like on a day-to-day basis around here.
No, seriously. I mean, content is definitely available for the taking. You just got to put yourself together a little podcast and go to town with it.
Yeah,
It's fun
even
and
though some of
stressful
it,
all at the same time.
yeah, and some people hit us up in the comments that they, some of it might be a little too much of a conspiracy for others. I like that kind of stuff though, brother. I like pushing the envelope. I like talking about stuff that's crazy. I love talking about plane farts. Those little lines in the sky.
Yeah, no, it's fun. So what's going on with these people? I mean, can they like keep their word whatsoever? It's
No.
deal this, deal that. This is happening, that's happening. Within, do you remember a couple shows back? We were doing predictions of how long the ceasefire would last, and I was like, "Yeah, next week," and you were like, "I was like before Thanksgiving or something like that." Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, and it's so true about them. They're like savages. They're like animals. They can't just.
Yeah.
I don't know if their egos was, taking a hit there.
Well, it's crazy. It's like, the saying, like, we don't negotiate with terrorists. It's like, well, this is why, when people make fun of Trump about Taco, Trump always chickens out. Weeks ago, he said he was going to, cancel out a whole civilization and he, art of the deal, call it what you want. But he didn't do it. And now you're here 2 weeks later. How many different times have you heard Trump say like, "Oh, we're sticking it to them. Like we made a deal and we're in the driver's seat." And then it's like they're still doing this kind of shit, dude.
I mean,
So basically, it sounded like the Iranians were coming through the strait, and America was like, "Listen, bro, you need to pump the brakes." And they were like, "Nah, dude, we're busy." And then they FAFO'd, and then America fucking blew a hole in the side of their fucking ship.
yeah, they put it right in their engine room. So if you understand what that means, that ship is done for pretty much.
So does that mean it would sink?
No, not necessarily. They have watertight compartments that are very helpful.
So wait, the Titanic hits a piece of ice and sinks, and they can blow the shit out of the side of a.
Well, you got to understand the technology that the Navy uses, or not the Navy, modern ships use today is the technology, from what I understand, that they were trying to implement on the Titanic. And it was new technology, watertight doors, closing off this compartment where the other compartments can stay free from flooding. And that technology, I guess, wasn't good enough back then, but now it's really good. They'll limp a ship along and get them into a shipyard and put them in a dry dock and fix them. But no, back on the straight, 20% of the world's oil, that's like 15 to 20 million barrels of oil every single day.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. You think 20% is small, but Trump's master plan is coming to fruition. People are coming to buy oil from us. We're the number one seller of oil as of right now.
I know that's crazy. I was just watching one of the news networks, and it was showing the tankers, and it's crazy how many. It looks like it looks like. You ever go to Costco to get gas or like Sam's Club?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And people would people would sit there for like 15 cars deep just to get 4 cents off their gas. That's how it looks in the Gulf of America right now. You like how I said that? Little plug for dude. I live in Florida, so like some people are weird, dude. Like they get all butthurt about calling it the Gulf of America or Florida or Gulf of Mexico, whatever.
I
So
will tell you, when I was in Florida back in October, it wasn't just called the Gulf of America. People were like proudly representing by wearing T-shirts and bumper
mm,
stickers and hats, and that there was Gulf of America specialty drinks,
yeah, yeah, dude.
food
I had a
bars.
shirt. I had a shirt on yesterday that said the Gulf of America, and some woman, a little bit of an obese white liberal woman. She said to me, you shouldn't be wearing that. And I said, well, why not? And she was like, because it's the Gulf of Mexico. And I said, should I wear my Washington Redskins shirt? And she was like, I was like, you can't have your cake and eat it, bitch. Like,
Well,
if you're gonna change, listen, I'll call it the Gulf of Mexico if I can call it the goddamn Washington Redskins. So you can't have both. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't change one and then not
sure,
change
sure.
the other. You know. Anyway,
Hypocrisy at its best. They are the masterminds of all hypocritical word. I will say
eh,
that.
that's for sure.
Damn liberal. All
So yeah,
damn.
so it looks like so Lord Jesus himself, Mr. Donald J, said that Iran violated in the ceasefire and it's threatening new attacks. So they're sending the troops, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, back to Pakistan tomorrow to do some talking. I don't understand, dude. Listen, talking ain't fucking working, bro.
So
Like,
this is what I don't understand. We're selling all this oil right now. We're the number one seller of oil on the planet right now. Yet our gas prices are still high. I mean, when does the excuse like unravel itself and just give it to us straight? This is why oil at the pump is as much as it is.
so I was reading today that they're expecting gas to stay above $3 a gallon all the way to 2027.
I knew it.
They're that's like I will say this, dude. I filled up my gas this morning on my Forerunner, which is what, like a 6 cylinder. Yeah, that joint was $81, bro. I was like, God damn, what is this? My 150?
Yeah, no, my card normally takes $30 from an empty light on fill up. That's how I fill up, always with the light on. As soon as the light turns on, I go to fill it up. And I was paying like $32 for a fill up before all of this price hike, and now I'm at like 47 bucks. So, that's a $15 swing right there.
Well, imagine if you're a driver or commute, like you have a long commute. Like, luckily, that's not my thing. But like, could you imagine like Ubering or Uber Eats or any kind of delivery or truck driving? Like, that's a massive change, dude. You're talking like 15-20% of an increase. That's game changer, dude. Like,
Let me ask you something, and I haven't even really looked into it. Do you think Uber, whether it's Uber Eats or Uber, rideshare, and things like Lyft, have the prices gone up? Is that what you were saying, or?
I would hope they would because it shouldn't be on the driver to have to take those
Okay,
costs.
I'm so glad you said that. So, why is it put on the American people? Because of wars started or money management or corrupt evil corporations setting the prices to whatever they want. I really don't get it. And the other thing is, if 20% of the world's oil comes out of the Strait of Hormuz, yet that's not where our oil comes from, why are we affected at the pumps for it? That doesn't make sense. I mean, I could see it if we were bringing goods in and the prices go up on those goods because the deliverer of those goods had to pay a hefty fuel bill. Totally understandable, but
That's wild. I don't know, man. I say this all the time is like, since I trade stocks and things like that, these things matter a lot, like crude oil, the stock market, this and that. So it's funny because I made some notes about what time is it? 7:30. I probably made some notes around 3 o'clock today. And one of my notes I'm looking at right now, it says bullish markets. People are over Iran and will be a good Monday. Oh, hold my beer. Lord Jesus, Trump has spoken. We done in that time. We done blew the shit out of the side of a goddamn a boat, and now it's doing the exact opposite of what I was going to say 4 hours ago. So now you look at so on Sundays the futures market opens at like 6 p.m. and that way you can kind of see like an overall
And
gist
that's
of
for the week, right?
well, so it opens on Sunday for tomorrow. So basically your oil and shit like that, right? So you can kind of get an idea by like eight,
But what
nine
I'm saying
o'clock.
is that what jumpstarts your day? Is that what starts your week? Is whatever happens on that Sunday night?
Well, yeah, I mean, what gives you a trajectory is this going up or is this going down?
I
So
got
where I was projecting it to go up, and then we went and blew the shit out of this goddamn boat, and now it's like it was like a big red bar, which is no bueno. Um, so there's still time to bounce back, but what has happened is a lot of people are just over it. Like they're over the Iran bullshit, dude. Like it's just it's gotten to the point where I think people in the stock market are like, whatever, dude. Like we're just gonna move on because it's like it's one day we're talking, then the next we're not, and then we're at peace, and then it's how many times in the last 3 weeks has Iran backed out on this deal, or how many times have they reneged on whatever they said they were going to do? What did he say?
he was just talking about how Democrats were talking about renaming landmarks and stuff like that. So Republicans have every right as well. And actually, I was going to give a shout out to
Was that Brett?
one of our best fans,
What up,
number
big
one
dog?
fan. Yep, Brett. So
Brett and the Heat. Hey, Brett first on the comment of the first live.
this one's good right here. In a partisan response to Republican proposals to rename a Florida airport after Donald Trump, House Democrats proposed naming a federal prison after him.
Yeah, right. Fucking these
That's
people.
hilarious.
These people are wild, dude.
Yeah, no,
But
definitely.
yeah, they're we're a little different down here in Florida. But you got people renaming stuff. You got what did he rename the Kennedy Center, right? Was it the John F. Kennedy, Donald J.
No,
Trump?
it's the Donald J. Trump John F. Kennedy
Of
Center.
course it is.
Absolutely. Well, it makes more
Fucking
sense to do that. Think about it, because it's already the Kennedy Center. So it kind of flows better to put his name first and then
yeah, of course. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we'll just put his name in front of everything. So now it's Donald Trump, Jesus, Savior, and
he's about to have all of his money going forward for the remainder of the year. All the money in the United States Treasury is going to be printed with his signature for the two.
I know that dude. Listen,
Dude, I do want a $100 bill with his signature on it. I'll frame it.
dude.
That'd be
He
pretty
is
cool.
he is a narcissist in the highest levels. Like, my man loves. He just walks into a room and he just loves it, dude. He just
I mean, we know this. Look at in the last couple of weeks, the picture of him with Jesus, or portraying Jesus, I should
no.
say.
He was a doctor. He was being a doctor.
Yeah, that's what he says he
He was
thought.
saving lives.
Dude, that's no
Look at
no
this
no
guy.
doctor I've ever seen. A doctor from
If
like
I ever saw a
400
doctor
years
like that, I
ago.
would be like, "Oh Jesus, am I in heaven?"
That's not a doctor. That's called a wizard.
We're sorry, Lord Trump. We're
I mean,
sorry, Jesus.
that's
Dude,
a
could you
wizard.
ever imagine getting to heaven and fucking there's Trump at the gates? I'll be like, oh no, what are you doing here?
Dude, he's everywhere. Dude,
So
imagine.
now in my house, anytime I stub my toe, I go, oh, Donald Trump, instead of saying Jesus.
Right. So
So
really quick, his boy there, JD Vance, he has been in the news for a hot minute here, right? I mean, he's got a couple things going on, and what is he doing? Is he making a political move to get into power?
well, obviously, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that dude. I've said that a couple times on the show. I really liked him at one point, but I don't like when people flip scripts. If you look into JD Vance, a couple years ago, he was dogging the shit out of Trump, and then now all of a sudden he's fucking Trump's boy. I don't like how tight he is with your girl Erica Kirk. I
Why?
know I made a
Because
video
they're
about.
making the sec.
I made a no. They're not making the sex. But
What's
I
he
know
looking from the sex?
he was great friends with Charlie.
Oh, I bet
That
he
was kind
was.
that was kind of his past. I don't know, man. I don't trust Erica Kirk at this point. Like it just that whole thing is weird. The whole trial is weird with this whole Tyler Robinson dude. I know that there's some shisty stuff going on with some
He was
FBI
just
files.
in he was just in court, wasn't he? Like 2 days
Yeah,
ago?
yeah, for the trial of Charlie Kirk. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand, but it just happened like 2 days ago, right?
Yeah. So she's basically trying to, she wants a speedy trial. She wants this to be like a slam dunk. And it's like, well, hold on a second. Whoa. Like, what are we talking? Why are we in a rush here? What is this, Russia? Like, you got somewhere to go?
Yeah.
Because now they're saying that the bullet didn't come from the gun.
I heard that. Now,
So,
is this conspiracy theory or factual? Like, there's actual news,
well, so
reporting on that.
so the ATF and the FBI have files that they won't release to the defendant, right? So basically, Tyler Robinson's attorneys are trying to get access to some files, and they're like, "No, no, no, you just take our word." They're like, "Trust me, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Trust me, bro." And they're like, "Nah, dude, we ain't trusting you, Jack." So that's kind of like where the little situation's coming from now, but I don't know, man. Like, there's just something about her that just, yeah, I just can't get on board with. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something that seems weird. And her and JD Vance are so tight. So people, when I say people have said, a couple people that I've heard that have said this, because I don't want to upset anybody in our chat, because there was one guy that was all butthurt when I mentioned that JD Vance and Erica Kirk would be on a running ticket. People have said that Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk were a match made purposely because Charlie Kirk was going to be a president. He was going to be like the future. He was being groomed to be a president. I could have seen him being a president, absolutely. But
Do you think Charlie was nixed because of his stance on Israel?
I do. Yeah, absolutely, dude, because that happened he started like I want to say he started waking up. He started like pushing back on the whole BB thing, and he started pushing back on what they were doing, and he started making some comments, and I feel like Erica was kind of like, "Whoa, dude, you need to chill out, bro. Like we have our plan and you're kind of fucking that up, like calm down." And then,
Do you think she's a part of
well, I
having
don't
this
know.
all go down?
I don't know, dude. I don't want to say she's a part of it, but like it definitely. I don't know, man. If you listen, I love rabbit holes. I adore a rabbit hole. I'll go down the deepest, darkest rabbit hole. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of people to say they were having some marital issues. They were having some issues with the way they see each other. But then like the thing is like you can see if somebody's lying, right? For example, I didn't know a lot about Erica Kirk until after Charlie died. She was in like beauty pageants with Donald Trump, and she was an actress, and she was on like some dating show on like main main what do you call it, TV? Like she was
Mainstream.
she was on like she was in the limelight already. So, and her mom is like big into the CIA type of cybersecurity. Like she wasn't just like some random ass girl, dude. Like she was a plant, dude. And I think she was kind of set up. I think Charlie was set up with her to kind of be that American couple that go and do it. And now with Charlie out of the picture, who steps in? His best friend, JD Vance.
Yeah, but do you think that that's a smart decision by the GOP to put that party together and put them in front of America to represent America? Is that a
Well,
winning ticket? I mean,
well, look at it like this, right? If their main plan was to put Charlie and Erica out, right? First of all, I don't think it would have happened now. Like Charlie was still too young. I would have said he was too young to be. I'm thinking like in the next 10 years of a future president.
yeah, but wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. I'm talking about Erica and Vance.
Well, now what else? What other opportunities do you have?
Yeah, but that means you're going to have someone as young as she is with very little experience in this, field, and She's going to be potentially the vice president of the United States
Yeah,
in 2028.
that's
That sounds a
crazy.
little far fetched. That seems a little crazy to me. I
It
don't
does.
see that as being viable whatsoever.
I
I
mean,
think
the
that's
crazy
an
thing.
instant losing ticket, if you ask me.
Well, let me float this
DeSantis.
idea. Let me.
DeSantis.
Oh my God, bro! Don't get me started on Ronnie D. You know how I feel about Ronnie D. I love that man. Ronnie D for fucking Ronnie D should be Jesus. When I die at the pearly gates, I want to see Ron DeSantis standing there
He is a
wearing a.
badass motherfucker. He
I
doesn't
love
take
that
any
dude.
shit, man.
I love him.
Yeah, but how quickly do you guys turn on him when he makes a mistake? That's
We
the thing.
don't because he doesn't make mistakes. I love this dude. Ron DeSantis is my heterosexual life partner. So think about it like this. You ready for this? You got JD Vance and Erica Kirk versus Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. We're cooked.
You
We're
think so?
cooked. I mean, at that point, I'm not a fan of the whole and like I said, this is all hearsay right now. There's still tons of time. You know what I would love? I would love to see. Oh, dude, you know what would be the dream ticket? Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy.
You were saying that a couple
I
days ago.
love Vivek Ramaswamy, dude. I love that dude.
Where's he from?
Ohio.
And his background?
He's Indian. He's like real Indian, not like Kamala Harris like suits her when it's, when it works
She's
for her
black,
Indian.
she's Indian, she's married to a Jew, she has a
She
transgender child.
Yeah, she ticks every box, dude.
She's a big dummy, is what she is.
Yeah,
You put
she's
her in the presidency, and that means you had 80 million plus dummies voting for her. How in the world people went in that box and said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris"?
and
I
Tim
would have
Walz.
just not voted and dealt with the loss, and taken Trump. I mean, if I
Yo,
were a liberal.
some dude posted on one of our videos about I said, is your life better with or without with Trump, or would it have been better with Kamala? And he was like, "Oh, you're, basically, typical liberal, like, oh, you're an idiot. Like, I can't believe I even have to explain this to you." And then my response was, "Well, like, if you know anything about Tim Walz, like in the last year, like, how could you even like come at me with this?" And he was like, "Well, what did Tim Walz do this year?" I'm like, what do you live under a fucking rock? Like, yo, my guy is like fucking, scamalia over here, fucking unbelievable, dude. Like the fact that that's what kills me the most about liberals is like when you have to explain to them on like have you been absent for the last year? Like this dude has literally he's he every day he's under pressure with Minnesota with the fraud, the all kinds of shit, dude. It's like I shouldn't have to explain that to you. Could you imagine him being a vice president?
Who?
Tim Walz.
Never. I'm that guy is something else, man. Tim
I don't.
Walz is very special. How in the world he didn't resign and still holds office, I can't even comprehend that. I mean, the amount of fraud that came out of, that state with him at the helm, he's supposed to go down with that ship, man. Man, what even happened with any of that?
Oh well, we found a new shiny toy. We found the Epstein files, and then all of a sudden nobody talked about it, and then all of a sudden the Epstein files got too much, and they were like, you know what? We're just going to start World War III, and then we'll stop talking about Epstein. And then all of a sudden we're over here on the other side of the world playing in somebody's sandbox because it was too much. We talked about this last week. It was like every day it was ice, 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 baby, and it was just everything was ice. And now crickets, dude. Nobody talks about ice.
No, I'm surprised that the Epstein files really didn't stick. Like that one should have probably stuck. Trump, or not Trump, Clinton, he did some, House committee.
Yeah, and so did Hillary with her little frazzle drip.
My God.
The jerky, dude, all of that shit was coming out, and then all of a sudden it just went
Pizza
crickets.
pedo, everything gone, done.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
it didn't
So
even happen. Like this is the crazy thing. If you and I, um, Brett said Tucker Carlson.
yo, I actually have his name written on my notes.
Okay, well, we will definitely talk about that. But no, just imagine if you or I did 1/3 of anything these people did. We would be thrown in jail, key thrown away, whatever. We're insignificant. They hold all this clout, all this power, and you're right. If we don't figure it out soon, man, we're gonna own nothing and
Dude, I
be
get all
happy.
weirded out when I'm at the self checkout to make sure I rang everything in correctly, and and these assholes are removing stuff from people and putting it on their own stuff. And listen, man, that shit's crazy, dude. These people live on a whole nother fucking. They live on a whole new field, dude. They get their own rules. They get their own, no accountability.
So imagine if being elite, along with being elite, the money and the power and the privilege, you also had like a wealth of knowledge that you and I don't know. Putting stuff on your face
Yeah.
changes the
How would you
the
sleep at
aging
night?
process and stuff like that. I mean, seriously, what do they know that we're not allowed to know? What do they know because they're privileged? It's
Well,
just,
I'll tell
it's
you what.
crazy.
One of
I
my
want the
favorite.
aliens to come down and be like, you know what? We're picking you. You're in charge and you're bulletproof and nobody can stop you at
Yeah,
all.
you do whatever you want. One of my favorite humans in the world right now is Tim Burchett. I've mentioned him before. He's a Republican congressman from Tennessee. This dude is awesome, dude. He's like a good old country boy. He almost dresses like John Fetterman, but he is in charge of the UFO and the UAP hearings and stuff like that. So he's like the alien guru.
Is he the one that said had the talks about the hybrids and all that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember
So
him.
so he came out the other day and he was talking about like he sat through some meeting and he was like, dude, if you knew what I just heard, you wouldn't fucking sleep at night. He was like, this shit is crazy. And then he came out, dude. They had a meeting the other night. It went to like 2 o'clock in the morning. I didn't even know these people did shit like that. But he comes out of the Capitol and he's standing on the stairs, and you could tell they're all tired and shit. And he said that somebody mentioned something about the UFOs. So he's been mentioning things about the ocean. I told you this today. Like
Yeah, that's right.
he's been mentioning that, and I've heard this before. Like a lot of people talk about aliens in the ocean, which is crazy because you think aliens are up in the sky and stuff like that. But he was saying that there was an object that was the size of a football field that was moving underwater at the rate of 200 miles an hour.
Do you
Could you
know how
imagine
hard
that?
it is to go 200 miles per hour above water, let alone under?
The size of a football field?
That's crazy.
That's insane, dude. So you think about shit like that.
I mean,
That's,
I get it. The ocean's massive and there's probably so much that we don't know in terms of technology, but that's a pretty big mass moving. I guess it's not that big because an aircraft carrier in the US Navy is bigger than 3 football fields long.
yeah. So imagine a
It's
third of
just
that
underwater, which is the crazy thing.
moving at 100 or 200 miles an hour. So that's crazy. You know what else he said? Check this out. Sounds like he's a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. He said that NASA is made in a studio. So check it out, right? The guy who is in charge of UFOs, he's a congressman, goes out and says that they are working out of a studio. So that's interesting. Why would he say that? So let me segue real quick to the Tucker Carlson comment. So let's go back a year ago when Trump was getting the president, or when he was running for president. Dude, his biggest fans were Tucker, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan. All these people were like, Trump, right? They were
Yep.
loving that shit. And now, like, dude, they've all pretty much turned on him.
I
And
mean, Tucker flat out said, like verbatim, quote, I am not MAGA anymore.
yeah, so and then you look at like the Marjorie Taylor Greens, also all these people who were like big words for her, or big speakers for him, have completely changed.
Well, it was him touching on, the foreign policy and the whole entire Iran conflict. That's when people really started like shifting their gears and their tone when it came to Mr. Trump. I think it had that's a I feel that's the reason, or at least the start of, the snowball effect.
Well, so the way I look at it is, obviously I voted for Jesus in 2024. So I voted Jesus to take over the White House, and I think what's happened, like with me at least, I am very much America first. And I've said this 1,000 times before. I don't think that we should be in other people's business before we can fix our business. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I've always been a big believer that if we have veterans that are homeless, that is a priority. If we have, women who need help, that is a priority. Like, we should not have homeless people in our country, but yet we're over here giving money to Ukraine or Israel or any of these countries.
Just
I've always,
imagine the amount of money that we give away on a daily basis,
yeah,
to
I've
all of
always,
these countries, what it would do so quickly for our own country. And here's the crazy thing. We all know this, yet we still play into this hologram of an idea. Money is as fake as time. We just print it. Like, I remember one time looking at this meme and it was aliens laughing at us from up in space about how we owe money to someone. Like, who do we owe anything to? It's all fake. It's all made up. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm very much American first, and that's where I've kind of stepped away from Trump, because it's kind of like, whoa, hold on a second, like, what happened to America first? Like, why are we shifting gears now? I don't feel like it. I feel like it's kind of like Israel first right now. And I think what's happened is the Alex Joneses, the Tucker Carlsons, the Joe Rogans, they're all like, whoa, hold on a second, dude. Like, we said no wars. We are America first. But now, like, the Lindsey Grahams and the Mark Levins of the world are like calling, and the Bibi Netanyahus are the ones calling the shots. Not a big fan of that, bro.
so you're not a big fan of it. I don't think anyone is a big fan of it, but there's something in the background that we don't know about as to why, and it's not just Trump, it's many presidents. Look at Obama. What made him wake up and say, I'm going to deliver $40 billion on pallets to Iran and help them keep their nuclear program going? I mean, who does that? There's something that these people are threatened with or told that we just will never know. We'll never know.
We won't. We will never know. But you know what, though? That shit don't make no sense, man. Like you said, imagine what that stuff could do for the people here. I'll never forget with the homeless thing. Do you remember, like, a couple years ago when the Chinese president was coming to California and fucking overnight,
Oh my
overnight,
God,
Gavin
San
Newsom,
Francisco was spotless and
it was
homeless
like
free.
you could eat off the ground. Oh, in like 24 hours they clean that shit up. It's like, oh, okay, so it's not that you can't do it, it's that
It's
you
that you
won't do it.
won't do it. So
I'm gonna
true.
tell you, man, I don't know what to do with these. Speaking of Joe Rogan, I was telling you earlier that he's working with this psychedelic drug. It sounded like something like MDMA or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's funny you had said Joe had turned on Trump because Trump just announced reform on the psychedelic drugs.
Yeah. So, well, Rogan was in the White House the other day, and basically what it is
He was
they're
there.
yeah, they're using psychedelics to try to get over, like, opioid abuse or addiction, or so it's for veterans, though. Veterans are, obviously having some difficult times, so they're
You
basically
really
like,
want to
dude,
give
just,
me a psychedelic drug?
yeah, just
I'm
go
gonna think John Dunn is
take some
standing over in the
mushrooms.
corner. I mean, Jesus.
Take some mushrooms, and, like, it'll work with your PTSD.
Dude, I
It's
did the
pretty dope.
microdosing, those microdoses of shrooms one time.
Hmm.
They really didn't do anything for me. They kind of just like put me in this
Like a chill
like
state.
chill state, like almost like a floating, nothing would
Sounds
bother
like it
me.
worked, bro. What you want to see? Fucking midgets running around and garden gnomes and shit?
You remember that night at 1492?
Oh yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, dude. We had some good nights, man.
Yeah, no, well, I'm saying with shrooms that night, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
That was
I
my
don't know what you're
first
talking
time to
about.
ever do it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I would
All right.
never do something like that. Anyway, moving forward. So that's kind of cool if we could do. Could you imagine going up to, like, the pharmacy and be like, "Yo, let me get an eighth of them super mushrooms and some Advil."
Yeah, no.
Have your insurance pay for it too. You don't even have to pay for it. Oh my god, that'd be great. That would be great.
Let me ask you something.
No,
We're supporting pushing reform on psychedelic drugs, and I'm not against it. And I think that it's actually something that will probably open people's minds up. But don't
literally.
you think there's a dangerous side to it? Like, look at marijuana. ever since marijuana has become legalized, I feel like it's a nation of lazy fucking people. You know, they
Look, man, don't get it twisted. They were lazy bastards before that.
yeah, I guess.
What are you saying that now everybody's lazy because they're getting
No, I
high?
think it's a little bit worse. I think, legalizing marijuana kind of helped with, what's going on. Dude, bro,
I
look at
think
look at the way people conduct business and carry themselves when the Gen Zers,
I was okay. So
they lose their mind and they
that's
kirk
what I was gonna say.
out.
I think it's. I don't think marijuana is making people lazy. I think the Gen Z generation is just typically not motivated.
I think the altered AI-19 shot definitely ruined things, not just the shot, but the whole entire, pandemic,
Yeah,
pulling kids out of school and having them sit at home.
yeah.
That was a
That was
huge effect on kids. I don't know how old your kids were when all of that went down. Your
they were
kids were
babies, so
much
they
younger,
didn't
but
have to deal with it.
my kids were older than yours are now
Yeah,
when they had to deal with it. Milo
I
was like
could.
in middle school,
Yeah, see, I got lucky that mine were young enough that they didn't really. It wasn't
experienced
impacted.
that. Sure.
But, like, socially, that messes dude, that my whole life changed from that. I was always Mr. Bubbly and always out for a good time. Now I'm just like, get me in
Stay
my
away
little
from me,
studio and record
right?
some come up with some conspiracies, you know what I'm
I
saying? That's
still
what I'm
can't
talking about.
believe that still to this day, you may not see it in Florida so much, but in Maryland, oh my God, I can see it in 30
Liberals?
minutes of driving, someone
Yeah.
wearing a mask in their own car by themselves.
Dude, when before I moved down here, I'll never forget, I was riding my motorcycle in Maryland and I pull up to a light and I glance over and there's this dude on a Harley. You know, Harley, well, fucking big badass because I drive a Harley. And this dude was wearing a mask on his Harley. And I looked at him and I was like, give me your keys. Like you're done here. So I don't know, man. People driving by themselves with masks on and wearing tampons on their faces and shit. I
So
don't know,
Brett
dude.
was saying, don't people realize that the Democrats keep shutting down the government, which hurts the gas and food, yet they blame Trump and it has nothing to do with him. Why do we keep shutting down still? That's a good question, Brett. I personally believe that if Democrats can make Trump look bad at the cost of the people aren't enough, and they're willing to take their shot just to put him in the news in a negative connotation.
Yeah.
So
I feel like a lot of liberals would rather lose $1,000 to be able to be like, oh, Trump's an idiot. I feel that that's a hill they want to die on. And they would rather see the entire country crumble to the ground just to be able to say the TDS, oh look,
all
Trump's
right,
Trump's the devil.
I've got a good one for you. So, as someone who's conservative and, swaying a little bit more to the left with some of the topics and agendas and the way we're not really putting our own citizens and veterans and homeless and people first, um, what do you think America, this is my question to you, Ronan, or anybody watching. Um, what do you think America would be like when Trump leaves office, number one, and can never come back? And number two, what do you think America would have been like if the left just played ball and really looked after, putting America first? If everybody played nice with Trump's aggressive nature, do you think he would have had much more success and brought America to a much better place if he had support from the other side of the aisle?
I almost feel like if the liberals were smart, they would have. I mean, I still believe that the whole 2020 thing was very fishy. The whole 3 p.m. spike in numbers and all that kind of stuff. If they were smart, dude, they would have just let him take the dub, do your 8 years, and then right now he'd be a fucking thing of the past, dude. He wouldn't even be talked about right now. But they kept dragging that shit on. It's like ripping off a band-aid, right? Like they like slowly pulled it off, and now here he is, right back in your face.
Here's what's crazy. Like when you look at the timeline of this next 4 years, he still officially, to this exact moment on April 19th, has not even done a year and a half of his 4 year term.
I know.
And look at how much he's done, whether it's good or bad. I'm not like defending him. What I'm saying is it has been very aggressive. It has been
He's
very
done
rapid. I feel like
4 years worth of stuff in a year and a half.
seriously, I feel like, other administrations where they may promise things or talk about things, no matter what it is that they're, presenting or proposing to the American people or to the world, it's slow. It's dragging, their feet. And with Trump, it's just like boom, 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 rapid fire. Let's get this done. Let's build this tower. Let's blow up that bridge. Let's eliminate these people
Yeah,
so fast.
yeah, you write notes about him at 2 o'clock, and by 6 o'clock, those notes are no longer
Look at
relevant.
him. He even made a comment that stood out with all of America where he goes, "We're still talking about Jeffrey? We're still
Yeah.
talking about this guy?"
Well,
Like,
I think.
Trump is like over it. He's like, "All
Well,
right."
you know what though? I think that was the domino. I think that was the first domino that got pushed. Everybody supported him until the Jeffrey Epstein thing,
Who's
because
everybody on the right supported him?
the
Nobody ever
people.
on the left
Well,
supported
no,
him
I'm
except
saying
for
that
that.
the people like me who are now kind of like,
Sure, sure, sure.
hold on a second. That's what really rubbed me wrong was the Epstein stuff, because when you would hear him talking about like, oh, it's a hoax, or we're moving on. The fuck we are. We're not moving on. Like nothing has been done. Like I need to see perp walks. I need to see people locked up. The fact that, remember the whole thing with Bill Gates and the whole trying to get his wife antibiotics and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here trading stocks, and Microsoft is fucking ripping. How does that make sense, dude? How does Bill Gates stock go up after being affiliated with that? So it's not over. People didn't get that's still going on. There's another Jeffrey out there. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, sure, sure.
So
My
it's like
God, in my
we're not moving
opinion,
on until like we cut the head of the snake off.
do you remember that let me see if I can find it. You did this awesome post one time and it was like a board of conspiracy theories, and there was the part with Epstein, and he was just such a small little
Oh yeah,
part
yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah. There was like another 200 conspiracies on there.
Oh my
But
God.
it's not like when you hear we're moving on. I think he didn't realize how important it was to the people that something had to come out of that, and then the whole stuff with Hillary Clinton, and like people can't just walk from that shit, dude. Like you said, if somebody has to be accountable for these things, you can't just like, what I'm saying? Like you can't just pull some shit like that and just be like, all right, next shiny toy. Oh, look, there's ice. Ooh, oh, look over here. We're gonna go ahead and fucking bomb Iran, and that's just not cool, dude. I don't like it, and that's where I started to lose my faith. You know what I'm saying?
So here's this post Ronan did. It's called Great Awakening. And if you look down on this bottom left hand corner here, there's a little section circled in yellow, and that's like what we know or what's happening in the world, but yet this whole map of conspiracy theory is just massive.
Yeah.
And
So
obviously it's not a map, it's like a little blueprint, but I
you
thought
know
it
what's
was
interesting about conspiracy theories is like I said, I love being a critical thinker. I love thinking outside of the box. I love thinking about stuff that I was told is not true. I like seeing both sides of everything. And it's interesting where like we'll make a couple videos, and some of them are a little bit darker than others. But like people get so butthurt, like when you mention, if you like, the box of ticks, you know who you are. The box of ticks, like that like pisses people off. It's like, damn, bro, I'm not creating the fucking conspiracy. I'm just talking about the conspiracy. Like it's like it's not like I'm out here just spreading misinformation. I'm just talking about stuff that other people have brought up that I find interesting. And if I've upset you, good. That's my job. I push the envelope.
we had an interesting one here. He wrote, forget about winning or losing. We need to focus on the kids and the people of America. You're
Mm.
a vet. Think of how many come back and end up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I work in the medical field, and I can tell you there are always vets in there, and there are where were more vets needing vets when the Democrats were in charge, and that's sad. Yep, we agree.
I didn't serve, but I've always had a soft spot for veterans, dude, because I'm able to live in this beautiful country. You know, you see, I'm patriotic. You know what I mean? Like, I it kills me that we don't take care of the vets. I feel like the vets should be the number one first thing that we take care of, whether it's the VA, whether it's after. I mean, after coming home from duty, like it kills me when I see people struggle. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm a vet, and I feel like I've been more fortunate than most vets, coming back from war and things like that, but still conforming to and adjusting and acclimating to a civilian way of life after serving is very difficult on most of the veterans, whether they went through something traumatic or not. And the simple fact that they were okay with sacrificing their life to defend their country, just that one gesture right there should put them in the record books for life. You take care of this guy forever, this woman, this guy, whatever they are. Just signing on the dotted line and completing one enlistment is enough for me to say that veteran should be taken care of no matter what forever, especially from the richest country on the planet.
Well,
Look at
and
countries like Saudi Arabia. Their poorest people make like $250,000 American a year.
well,
That's their low class.
when you have scumbags like Elon Omar over here, and you have all these millionaires running around here robbing the shit out of American taxpayers, that bothers me, because why is it taking a 24-year-old kid, Nick Shirley, to out all these criminals who are fucking stealing, when that money alone, just, I'm not even talking about asking for more tax dollars. I'm talking to using the tax dollars that we currently give in an accurate way, that would take care of everybody. But yet you got all these assholes like Ilhan Omar with
Did you
her
see her?
husband.
Did you
Her
see her in the
husband's like
news?
a restaurant,
Her
and what?
her filing for her net worth to Congress was $30 million, and then she went back. Who does this? This was reported on the news. She went back and said, "Oops, my accountant made a discrepancy. It's not $30 million, it's $65,000 is what my net worth is." So, in my opinion, a lie came out about a year ago, and then all of a sudden she has the balls to even say this, and that's just adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
Should absolutely, without a doubt in my mind, be removed from Congress and deported back to her fucking shithole, like Trump says, parking lot.
Yeah. So
It's a goddamn parking lot.
speaking of scumbag shitheads, how about Eric Swalwell's bitch ass? So you want to talk about a scumbag? So he was the new shiny toy of the Democrats. He was the young shiny toy, Nancy Pelosi's little whipping boy.
Is she related to him too?
Dude, that was like, she took care of him, like that was her little project. So there's a lot of shit coming out about. First of all, this dude got in trouble in, like, I want to say it was like 2022 or something. He got caught banging a Chinese spy named Fang Fang, right? Can't even make this shit up. So he got caught banging a Chinese spy.
Wait a
Yo,
minute. Wait
my
a minute. Wait a
man's a
minute.
congressman running for governor. He was supposed to be the next governor after Gavin.
Wait a minute. You're telling me he got caught for doing that, and he was still allowed into public office to
Yes.
represent one of. They say that if California seceded from the union, it would be the 8th largest economy in the world.
Yeah. And he was going to
And
run it.
he's oh my god.
So not only that, but
What a
like,
joke, dude.
so he's, throughout all this, he's married, he's got all this stuff going on. So he's basically, and he's out, like, and he's like advocating, he's like, oh, Trump's a rapist, and oh, women's rights, and women this and women this. And it's like, bro, you're out there, you're the fucking problem, dude. You're out there abusing the shit out of these women, and you're sitting here talking about the hypocrisy is unfucking believable with these people. And it's on both sides. Listen,
It is on both sides.
it's on the
100%.
Republicans. That's why we're purple. We're purple now, dude. We're right down the middle. We like more red than, maybe we're like pink, I guess. But
I'm excited to introduce, Reggie and Marcus.
Reggie and Marcus,
That's going to be fun.
our little alter egos.
Yeah, it's a little
But yeah,
project in the making.
So anyway, so this dude was in 5 days, okay, this dude went from 5 days, he got caught with some videos of some hookers in a hotel and all kinds of stuff. In 5 days, they had evidence that even though it was their boy, he was out. They got him out. So he's expelled. He's no longer, he resigned, this and that, right? So here's my question. You ready for this?
Okay. Are you
If they,
asking me?
no, I'm just talking to,
I
so
didn't
here's
know.
my question. Yeah, dummy. Who else
All
am I
right, go
talking
ahead,
to?
man.
So listen, here's my question. If it took 5 days to get rid of their boy, right? Why is it that, where's the evidence against Trump? And if so, why haven't they brought it out? Like they can't just say, "Oh, he's a fascist, racist, he's a pedo," and where's the evidence? If you can drop the evidence on your own boy in 5 days, why is it that you don't have the evidence against
Trump.
Jesus?
Yep.
So
I'll tell you why.
there
That's
is
a
no evidence.
wonderful question. They don't give a shit about actual evidence. What they care about is they know the power they have with mind-controlled sheep. If they see a headline, they believe it. And putting anything out on Trump, look at we had the guy comment, he made a comment about we should talk about this. I don't know too much about it, but Ronan did have an experience with it at a rally where a woman
Oh
approached
yeah,
him
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
talked about we have
Tent
the
spike.
footage somewhere. Hey, have
Tent
you
spike.
have you heard about the boy that would like fuck Trump with a tent spike and that's why he had to wear a diaper because he couldn't like hold his bowels together and blah 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 blah. I was like, what in the fuck is going on? You tell a fucking liberal anything, and I didn't even want to cuss tonight. You tell them anything, and
Yeah,
those
you might have
fucking
just
dum
got us
dums,
banned from TikTok or from YouTube in like 30
whatever.
seconds.
Those goddamn no, not at all. We've been doing this for months. We haven't been banned yet. But
True. Pushing the envelope, baby.
but seriously, like you tell them anything and they run with it. So to get evidence against their own boy in 5 days, Ronan, is beneficial to them because that's noise that they don't want. So they're like, oh, look, bam, we don't even care if it's our own. If they're a nuisance, they're going to be out. And then letting the public know we're not messing around. But then they're just like a little Tweety bird.
Well, see, you know what's blowing up in their face. You know what's blowing up in their faces though is that there's rumors now that they've known about this for the last couple years.
And
So
there it
basically,
is right there. That's it.
what's happening now though is now people are like, well, wait a minute, you knew he was like this, and nobody did anything, and they're like, oh well, we knew he flirted a lot, and it's
You
like
know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like the rich
R.
kid
Kelly,
that keeps getting out of jail cards um because his daddy's rich,
yeah,
and
Aunt
money
Nancy,
is power.
Nancy Pelosi was
Aunt
always there to protect
Nancy.
him.
Aunt fucking Nancy.
Oh,
How in the
Aunt
hell is
Nance.
that bat even out of prison? I don't even know.
Dude, yeah, dude. You know what? Martha Stewart did her time.
Oh my god, dude, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so I
You're
feel
so
like,
right. I didn't even think about that. She
yeah,
literally did.
for the same thing that Nancy Pelosi did, inside trading.
Yeah.
Best trader in the world is Nancy Pelosi. She's fucking great, dude. She's better than Warren Buffett. She's the fucking business. She's so good that they made an app that follows her trades called Autopilot,
I
and
saw that.
and literally all it does is it's an AI bot that follow. If she buys, you buy. If she sells, you sell.
Has anybody made it big from that? Has anybody hit big, from
Well, now
copying
that
her?
she's not allowed to do it, not really.
Oh my god.
But she is the goat of, oh my god, I just looked up and on my TV is a fucking fat ass Mark Levin talking about Israel first. Anyway, so Brett, thank you, man. Appreciate you over there in the chat, dude.
Absolutely. That was kind of cool, man. I know this was, one of our first lives ever, and I'm pretty certain
Wait, we're getting
most of
Brett on
them
the
are.
show, aren't we?
He said he wanted to be on the show. I
Don't be
mean,
scared. Don't be scared, Brett. So let's make sure we get his off the show. We'll get his contact and stuff, and then we'll set up a show with him.
and you know who you are?
Yeah, man, we changed our time
What's
for
up,
you
man?
know who you are, so you
I
can
will
watch your
tell you.
Bruins game.
Yep, I was gonna
See?
say I'm not a fan, but I'm gonna root for the Bruins just because you know who you are, and you better give us the love that we deserve.
Yeah, we figured we'd do it a little earlier. That way, you know who you are could watch this. And I love that you know who you are knows who they are. That's great. But all right, well, you know what? I was a little under the weather today, but the show must go on. Over here with the sniffles.
Oh, before we get off here, we didn't talk much about it tonight, but I will say this. I think I want to put together a show, or at least a segment on a show about some missing scientists.
Mm,
So I don't even want to get into that, because to me, that's some news that is going to be around for a hot minute.
yeah,
I
especially
think
because they
there's,
keep going missing.
and all of a sudden you have these big wigs all over Washington, D.C. You have a former president. Alien is not fake unless you just don't believe in space. I think it's as real as anything. We live in a vast universe, and
Reptilians.
if anything, we're probably the hybrid, experiment because of
Yeah.
aliens. So
That's it. That's keep you on your toes for the next time we talk about some reptilians and aliens, some hybrid.
yeah,
That's that's where we're at in
yep.
life.
But until next time, we hope to see you on the next. Are we doing the next one live?
I think we're gonna just do every show from now on live.
All right, fuck it. Well, it produces, records, and separates live versus podcast. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it. It's fun.
I think from this point on we'll just do every show live, and we'll probably stick to the Wednesdays at 9. We'll do Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and then we'll post the recorded video the next morning after it loads, and just keep on keeping on, baby.
Yes, sir. And make sure to check us out on YouTube, TikTok, at the PTE show. Until next time.
Sláinte, baby.